So in today's session, we are going to look into architecture of 8051. We'll continue with it. We will look into special function registers in detail, and we will see functioning of peripheral circuits like timer counter, interrupt peripheral circuit, serial communication circuit, and IO port circuit functioning in detail. Correct. So our first special function register is accumulator. What all points do you remember regarding accumulator? It is an 8-bit register. And what is its special function? It is used to store the operand as well as result of most of the arithmetic and logic operations. The special function of accumulator is whatever operations are done by ALU, one of the operand has to be in accumulator, correct? And the second, whatever the result is also stored back in accumulator in almost majority of the instructions, right? That is its special function. Next, accumulator is bit as well as byte accessible. Whenever you write an instruction, you just write a letter A, microcontroller understands it's an 8-bit read-write operation, correct? And whenever you just write ACC.0, ACC.1, then it is understood as it is a 1-bit read-write operation, correct? So depending on the way we write instruction, microcontroller understands whether accumulator used is 8-bit or whether accumulator used is 1-bit. Is that okay? Hence it is written bit as well as byte addressable, accessible, right? So either you refer it by register A or you refer it by its address. What is an address of accumulator? E0 hex. Right? So either you refer it by the name or by an address. So see below, I have given an example, INCA. What is it? It's an instruction, increment accumulator. So either you write the letter A, referring accumulator, or you refer by its address, INC 0E0 hex. Right? And hope by now you should remember, if the address or the data begins with an alphabet, it should have a prefix with 0. So the address should be written as 0E0 hex. Refer by the name A or refer by its address E0. Correct? Now if you want to refer it as 1 bit, you just want to access 1 bit of accumulator, then you should be writing it as ACC.0. Right? Be careful. It is not A.0, it should be written as ACC.0, that is the first bit, right? 0th bit. ACC.1, ACC.2, and so on, ACC.7, that is the last bit. So writing like this means you are referring by its name and you are using 1 bit of it, right? Now, if you want to use the 1 bit by its address, then the bit addresses are E0, E1, E2, and so on, E7 hex. E7 hex is the address of the last bit in accumulator. Is that okay? Now you might ask, why would I need 1 bit accumulator access? Correct? Now, if you look into your flag registers, last time we saw PSW, we will see it ahead also. There is a carry flag, auxiliary flag, parity flag, but there is no sign flag. I do not have a flag which will indicate whether the answer is positive or negative. Correct? So how do we understand in binary number system that the answer is positive or negative? We check the MSB bit. Correct? The last bit we check, 7. So if I check ACC.7, if it is 1, we indicate the answer is negative. If it is 0, the answer is positive. So this is one of an example where I will require accumulator to access 1 bit of that accumulator. Is that fine? So either refer it by the name A or refer it by its address E0 hex. 1 bit, the name is ACC.0, ACC.1, or the addresses are E0, E1, E2 up to E7 hex. And what is the special function? It is used to store one of the operand as well as the result for ALU operations. Correct? Next, you have register B. Now, what is the special function of register B? Register B is used during multiply and divide instructions. Right? I have given an example below. MULAB. What does that indicate? Multiply the contents of register A with contents of register B. Similarly, division DIVAB. So these are the two instructions who compulsory use register A and register B. So what is the special function of register B? It is used to store one of the operand required for multiply and divide instructions. Correct? We cannot use any other register. It should be accumulator and it should be register B. Right? Second special function is, see, when you multiply two numbers, 8-bit into 8-bit, the result can be 16-bit. Right? For example, in decimal, if I multiply single digit 6 into 2, these are single digits. In decimal, the answer is 12. Mean the answer is in 2 digits. Similarly, in binary also, 8-bit into 8-bit multiplication can result in a 16-bit answer. Correct? Now, out of that, the higher byte of the result is stored in register B. After the multiplication is over, higher byte is stored in register B and the lower byte is stored in register A. Result. Correct? Similarly, when the division is completed, when you divide two numbers, what do you expect? You should get a quotient of it and remainder. Correct? So after division operation, the remainder is stored in register B. Fine. Whereas the quotient is stored in register A. So this is the special function of register B. Correct? One of the operand should be in register B, whereas partial results are also stored back in register B. When? For the multiply and divide instructions. Is that okay? Next, register B can also be used as a general purpose register. Mean you can use it for storing address in other instructions also. Right? So you can use it as a general purpose register too. It is bit as well as byte addressable. Correct? You can read and write 8-bit data or 1-bit data from register B. Its address is F0 hex. So if I write an instruction like here MULAB, it indicates you are using 8-bit register B. But if you're using a bit register, then you should be writing B.0, B.1 and so on to B.7. These are the bits of register B. Correct? And if I want to know what is a bit address, the starting address is F0, mean that is the address of bit B.0. F1, the address of B.1 and so on. F3, F4, F7 is an address of B.7. Right? So this is about the special function register B. Correct? Next special function register is stack pointer. I had told you all in the last session, whenever we see the word pointer, it means it is used to store some address. Right? That register is going to store some address. So SP is, it's an 8-bit pointer register. It stores the address of stack memory. Right? And we also looked into stack memory is a part of read-write memory. We can read and write from that memory. And when do you use stack memory? When the microcontroller is executing call instructions, when it is dealing with interrupts, and when it is executing push and pop instructions also. So these are the instances where stack memory is in use. Now, stack pointer always points to the last data that is stored on stack. Right? Remember this. Stack pointer always points to the last data that is stored on stack. We also called it that as top of stack, TOS. So these are few notations related to stack: top of stack, bottom of stack, middle of stack. Is that okay? Right? We will see that. Okay? So stack is stack pointer always points to the top of stack, mean the last data that is stored on stack. The next point, when we reset microcontroller, 07 hex gets automatically stored in stack pointer register. We do not do this. That happens automatically. So once we reset microcontroller, the stack pointer gets loaded with address 07 hex. Next, when we store data on stack pointer first increments and then the data is stored on stack. Okay, we will see this in detail. And when we read data from stack, the data is read first and then the stack pointer decrements by 1. So storing the data, increment and then store. Reading the data, first read and then decrement. Is that okay? Now something a bit more related to stack we will see. Right? We had seen this diagram in the last lecture also. So what was stack? Stack is a part of read-write memory. Correct? How much read-write memory do we have? 128 bytes. We have memory as 128 bytes. So the addresses are 00 hex to 7F hex. A part of read-write memory is nothing but the stack memory. Right? And when we reset microcontroller, what do we say? Stack pointer is loaded with address 07 hex. Can you see this? So here there is an address 07 hex. And where is this address? It is stored in SP. Right? Now, when we want to write data on stack, what is it happening? Stack pointer first increments by 1. What happens is SP plus 1. So what is the new address? 08 hex. This is a new address now. And at this new address, the data gets stored. So I have mentioned here the data 1 is 9A hex. So while writing the data, stack pointer first increments and then stores the data. Correct? You can see that data 1. Right? Now you want to store second data, stack pointer again increments. So that now becomes SP plus 2. And now what is the new address? 09 hex. And at this new address, the second data gets stored. Correct? So while storing, the pointer first increments and the data is stored. And now where is it pointing now? It is now pointing to data 2. What is that address? 09 hex. Beyond that, we have not entered anything. Correct? So 09 hex is called as the top of stack. Is that okay? And where is the bottom of stack? From where it began. It did begin with an address 07 hex. So 07 hex is called bottom of stack. 9 hex is called top of stack. And 8 is called middle of stack. 08 hex, that address is called middle of stack. Is that okay, everyone? Hope you all are understanding this, the terms associated with stack. Okay. And by default, your stack memory begins with an address 7 hex. Correct? You go on filling the data, the memory location goes on increasing. So how much is the size of stack memory in 8051? Stack memory is a part of read-write memory. Correct? What is the last location of read-write memory? 128 byte means 7F. Is that okay? So what is our last memory? That is 7F. So stack memory in microcontroller begins at 07 hex and ends at 7F hex. Is that okay? That's the size of stack memory. Now, one more question I want to ask you all. What is the difference between that stack memory and the general purpose read-write memory? Both are read-write memories. Correct. We use push and pop, whereas in general purpose we use move. Strong difference point. Stack memory is of sequential access, whereas general purpose read-write memory is random access. What do you mean by this? Random access mean, suppose I write an instruction to read the data from 00 hex, that memory address 00 hex. Immediately next, I can write an instruction to read data from 30 hex. Immediately next, I can read the data from 7F. So from where you are reading, it's random. First 00, next 30, next time I'm reading from 7F hex. That is called random access. But that is not the case with stack. See, how am I writing the data? Stack first increments and there I write the first data. Then again it increments by 1. That is 09. I write the second data. Next it will increment, that will become 0A hex and I will store the third data. Means that is sequentially getting incremented and stored. Correct? And now when I want to read the data, I will first read from the address 9 hex. Mean I will first read data 2 and the stack decrements by 1. Now I will read data 1 and the stack decrements by 1. So while storing, we go on storing sequentially, and while reading, we read it also sequentially. So that's a major difference between a read-write memory of stack and a general purpose read-write memory. Stack is a sequential access memory. So please remember about the stack pointer. It is very, very important. Handling stack is very important when we do coding. So that is about your stack pointer, right? And now again, it is byte addressable. Mean we can always read and write 8-bit information from stack pointer. Bit access is not available. Correct? And the address is 81 hex. Is that okay, everyone? Just to revise, it stores the address of stack memory, always points to top of stack. By default, the address stored is 7 hex. Stack pointer first increments and then the data is stored. Stack pointer reads the data and then decrements the stack pointer by 1. So these are the read and write operations. Next, the next special function registers are those ports P0, P1 and so on, P2, P3. So what all information do you all know about the ports? All these are 8-bit registers, special function registers. What is a special function? They are used to connect input devices and output devices to microcontroller. Each port has an internal 8-bit latch as well as a driver circuit. We had explained last time. So internal latch, it is used to store the data. Read from the port, store it in the latch. We want to write on the port. First it is stored in the latch and then it is written on the port. Reading is taking in, writing is sending out. Right? So there is internal latch to every port. And the driver circuit, to increase the current capacity, you have a driver circuit. Now, one important point associated with ports is whenever we take in data, the ports are to be initialized as inputs. Mean I should write some instruction which will make those ports act as input ports. So that is called, we need to initialize the ports as inputs and then only we can take in data. We can read the data from the port. Correct? Whereas when we are sending out data, no initialization is required. Right? So for example, if I am sending 55 hex on port 0, I'll be writing the instruction as MOV P0, hash 55 hex. So 55 hex is sent out on port 0. No initialization required. But when I want to read the data from port 0, I should initialize it as input. Mean, what should I do? I should send logic 1 on every pin of port 0. So 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 8 bit 1 1 1 1 mean FF hex. When I send logic 1 on that port pin, then it starts behaving as an input. Correct? So that is called initialization. So how should my program be? I should be first writing MOV P0 comma hash FF hex. Mean I'm sending logic 1 on all the pins. And then I will read the data. Mean my second instruction will be MOV A comma P0. Mean the data from port 0 is read and stored in accumulator. So this is one important point you should remember. Whenever you're using them as an inputs, you need to initialize and then use. For using it as an output, initialization not required. So that is regarding ports P0, P1, P2, P3. And now each port has its own address. Port 0, the address is 80 hex. P1, P2, P3, the addresses are like this: 8, 9, 10, 11. So writing it in hex: 80, 90, A0, B0 hex. These are the addresses of all 4 ports. Correct? And they are bit as well as byte addressable. So if I want to write port 0 bitwise, we write it as P 0.0, 0.1 up to 0.7. So refer them by the name. Or if you want to refer by that address, the addresses are 80, 81, 82, 87. 87 is the address of the last bit P0.7 of port 0. Now the other addresses are 90, 91 up to 97, port 1, port 2, A0, A1, A7, and port 3, B0, B1 up to B7. And the way we write the instruction, microcontroller understands, should it access 8 bit or should it access 1 bit of that port. The next special function register is data pointer register. DPTR, again the name pointer mean it is used to store some address. Correct? Which address? Either external program memory or external data memory. And the size of memory is 64 KB. 2 raised to 16 is 64. It means the address will have 16 bits. And hence the register is also 16-bit pointer register. Your DPTR is a 16-bit pointer registers, storing address of external program memory and data memory. And you can split this into 2 8-bit registers, namely DPH and DPL. Correct? Oh yeah, this should be the address of DPL register is 82 hex and the address of DPH register is 83 hex. Just by mistake. Whereas DPTR 16-bit does not have an address. Is that okay? DPTR has always to be used by its name if it is a 16-bit. Okay? But if you split it into 8-bit, there is address associated with it. Now here, for example, I have written 2 instructions of using DPTR. So there is this MOV. MOV means move, transfer the data. That is the mnemonic. So MOV, MOV, it means move the data or copy the data. And there is that letter X. X indicates external RAM. And C indicates external ROM. That X and C indicate external RAM, external ROM. And that MOVX is called as a mnemonic. MOVC is called another mnemonic. And see how the instruction, how do we make use of DPTR? The instruction is MOVX A, @DPTR. So this is that symbol @ indicating it's a pointer. Wherever there is that symbol @, it means that register is a pointer register, storing an address of some memory location. Correct? So MOVX A, @DPTR, what does it indicate? Copy the data pointed by DPTR. Which data? External RAM memory data pointed by DPTR into accumulator. The use of DPTR. Look at the second instruction. MOVC A, @A plus DPTR. So here, how is that address generated? The information of DPTR is added with accumulator, and that's how a new address is generated. And the data pointed by that address, right, that is available in program memory. The data pointed by this address of program memory is picked up and copied in accumulator. Right? These are the format of writing the instruction, and that's how you make use of DPTR register. Is that okay? The next special function register is program counter. Again, another important register. It's again a 16-bit pointer register. Mean it's going to store address, and which address? It stores address of program memory. That is where your code is written. What is this operation? It always points to the byte which is to be fetched next by microcontroller. Now what is this? What is the function of microcontroller? It fetches the instruction, it decodes it, and it executes them. So what does program counter do? Program counter will have an address of that memory location which is to be fetched next by the microcontroller. And the next is, whenever we reset microcontroller, program counter gets loaded with 0000 hex. That is, we say whenever the microcontroller is reset, program counter gets cleared. Now this is very important. It indicates something. Right? What does it indicate? When do we reset microcontroller? Or rather, when do we reset our PCs? Right? Whenever it is lagging, whenever it gets hanged. So those are the instances where you reset your laptops or you reset your PCs. Mean, what do you want them to do? It should stop currently whatever it is doing, come out of that and start from fresh. Right? Start from fresh means what? Start the PC from the beginning. Right? Same thing as with microcontroller also. Whatever you have designed, if the microcontroller is performing some indefinite loop which you do not want, or else it has hanged up, it is doing something but not processing the data, right? So these are the instances where we reset the controller and we want that microcontroller to start executing the program from the first line, to start executing from the beginning of the program. Correct? This is what we want to do. Indicates to you, when we reset microcontroller, program counter gets loaded with 000 hex. What does program counter do? It points to the instruction which is to be fetched. So what is it telling you? Where should be your first instruction? Your first instruction should be at address 000 hex. Correct? And that is the reason whenever we start writing our programs, the starting memory address should be 000 hex. This is very important, an important indication. Correct? On resetting controller, program counter gets cleared. Program counter, what it does? Fetches the byte which is to be executed next. Correct? So that is the reason, since program counter is cleared, our programs should begin with an address 000 hex. Is that okay? Microcontroller comes out of that hang state and starts executing the program from the beginning. And the last point, it automatically increments, program counter automatically increments after every fetch operation, right? We need not write an instruction to increment program counter. That is going to happen automatically. Okay, we will stop here. In the next session, we will see the remaining special function registers. Bye. See you all in the next session.